Let's get into this. We're doing a deep dive today into some pretty serious commercial AV hardware. Specifically, we're looking at the WolfPack 4K 30 Hz HDMI Input Card and the big modular matrix switchers they plug into from HDTV Supply.
Right, and the goal here is to really give you a shortcut, to cut through the spec sheets and get to what matters for anyone integrating these kinds of high-end systems.
So we're talking about the tech, the modular design, and a pretty surprisingly huge control ecosystem.
Exactly.
All right, so let's start with performance. This 4K 30 card, it seems really focused on stability. What do these core specs 4K at 30 Hz 48-bit deep color 10.2 gigs per second? What do they mean in a real-world commercial setup?
Well, what's interesting is the trade-off they're making. By going for 4K 30 and 4.2.0 color, they're not chasing the absolute highest spec. They're prioritizing a rock-solid signal.
For stability.
For stability. In a huge installation, that's everything. And the speed is, well, it's effectively immediate. They claim a max switching speed of 200 nanoseconds.
Which is nothing. You'd never see that.
You'd never, ever see it. No latency. And, crucially, it passes through all the high-end audio you'd expect. Dolby True HD, DTS HD, all of that.
Okay, so if that's the performance, let's talk about the design philosophy. The longevity. This is a one-port slide-in card design, and it's used in their biggest chassis, the 9x9, 18x18, all the way up to 36x36.
And that hot swap capability is a massive, massive benefit for uptime. Just think about it. An airport, a stadium, you don't have to shut down the whole video wall because one input failed.
You just pull the one card.
You just pull the card, slide a new one in, and you're back up. It's a huge deal.
That sounds incredibly flexible.
Yep.
But is there a catch, a trade-off for that kind of modularity?
There is, absolutely. And this is probably the most critical thing we found in the sources.
Okay.
These 4K 30 cards cannot be mixed with their older 1080p-based cards. You can't put an SDI or a VGA or a DVI card in the same chassis.
I see. So you're buying into a dedicated system.
It has to be a pure 4K 30 system. That separation is mandatory for it to work right.
Okay, that makes sense. Moving from hardware to software and control, the versatility here is kind of stunning. We found something like over 20 ways to control these things.
Yeah, it's a lot. You have the standard stuff, front panel buttons, web GUI, but then there are free apps for iOS, Android, even Amazon Fire, and of course the standard RS-232 and TCP/IP ports for automation.
And that's where the pro integration comes in, right? The drivers.
Deep driver support. We're talking Control4, Elan, RTI, URC, plus optional modules for Crestron. It's built to slot into basically any professional environment you can think of.
So this leads to a really interesting, let's call it a cost-saving hack that was in the source material for anyone managing a budget.
This is a good one.
It seems you can save thousands on a big install by just buying the hardware yourself and then hiring a local programmer only for the software part.
And that's only possible because the control language itself is so accessible. Yeah. The RS-232 script is incredibly simple.
How simple?
Well, the example they give is to switch input 8 to, say, outputs 1, 8, and 16. The command is literally just 8 by 1 and 8 and 16.
That's it.
That's the whole command. That's what makes that hack viable.
Wow. So with this level of detail, what's the quality assurance process look like? I mean, this company, HDTV Supply, they've been around for a while.
Yeah, 25 years. And it seems they have a really rigid process. After they test all the components, every single unit has to go through a mandatory 24-hour aging period.
What does that mean, aging?
They put it in a dedicated room and run it under a sustained load for a full day to catch any failures before it ever ships, then goes to final QC.
And what if something still goes wrong in the field?
They have a 2-year advance replace warranty. So if their tech support confirms a card or an extender is faulty, they'll usually ship a replacement out within 24 hours in the US.
Which minimizes downtime. That's the whole point.
Exactly. So to kind of wrap it up, you're getting very high-spec performance, that 4K 30 stability, 0 latency.
And it's meeting this incredibly resilient modular hardware design. It's a real infrastructure play.
It is, which actually raises a final interesting question for you, the listener, to think about.
Oh.
Given how much of this relies on these simple proprietary scripts like that RS-232 command and all the third-party driver integrations, what does this heavy dependence on software configuration mean for the long-term maintenance and compatibility of these customized systems? Something to mull over for your next big install.